Hi, Trina. This is my week 7 update. I want to start with October 18th. The last date that I had was October 15th. So we're going to start October 18th. The first thing that I did is we had someone that was a rehire, and I had found an opportunity to be able to use her as a person. So I gathered the information that I had and I made, and this is for a classified employee. So I made a checkoff sheet, went to every person, gave them their part of the interview that they would be having with the new employee, had them write notes on it of things that they may have covered or may not have covered. And that went really well. Stacy came on October 26th, and that's a Monday. So on Friday, I made sure I handed everything out in their boxes so they had it on Monday. So when she arrived on Monday, she could take her time and go to all those people that she needed to check in with about being employed here at the school. I was able to meet with her at the end of the day on Monday. She'd gone to see, I think there was 7 people that she went and saw, not that day, but she saw 3 that day. On the 27th, I think she saw 2 more people. And then on October 28th, she was able to meet with all the rest. Brenda, who is our school secretary, said that her and another lady switched a job because our lead yard duty, it was easier for her to assign a radio than it was the secretary. So that job changed, and that was great. Some other things that when she went to talk to our lead yard duty, there were some things on the list that I had missed, which was wonderful. So they were able to fill in what are some of the disciplines that we do at our school when kids are doing things that are wrong on the playground. So they went over that. And it was really good. The week before Stacy got here at our school, we had a lockdown on a Friday. We heard some gunfire, and so we shut down the school. So we learned quite a bit as a school district, things that we need to work on. One being, we had 2 subs that day, 2 teacher subs and 1 classified sub. We realized that these people had no idea what to do during a lockdown. So it was really, really good information that we're able to talk about that and address that on Monday at a staff meeting that we had about how are we going to do this different. Well, a teacher had brought some attention to this, and we were eating lunch, and our superintendent walked in as we were discussing this, and she showed him what she did for her subs. And it was 1 sheet of paper that described, if we have a lockdown, this is what you do. If we have a fire drill, this is what you do. This is where you find the information that you need. So it was like a quick reference. So what we decided is our superintendent was to take that quick reference. And when we have subs walk in, that is part of their coming onto our campus. They need to read that so that they're aware of what they need to do if there's an emergency. And I love that. So good things came from that. I'm going to add that to my checkoff sheet, that is something they also get as being hired, because we're finding that we have an emergency operation procedure book. There is so much in there, and we need to be aware, but to have a quick reference that they can read, to just know quickly what they are to do is such a quick way of letting those people who are only going to be there for a day or maybe a week, what they need to do with their class, or as an aide, what we need to do if we're outside with the kids. So we learned a lot, and it was a good experience for our staff to go through something like that. So along with Stacy, Stacy said that her whole experience having the checkoff sheet where she had been hired before and didn't have that, said this was so much better. Now, the school that she was hired at and then decided to leave, that school had nothing like this too. They had no hiring procedure for new people. And so I was really excited that we are going to have something like this that we can implement into the school, and onboarding packet for these new employees. Stacy said she wanted me to share this, or I asked her if I could share this. So one of the people that she had to talk to was our union rep. And she said that she went in and said, "Hey, I wanted to ask you some questions about my pay. I'm not really sure. Nobody's told me how much I'm going to get paid, but I was told that I could possibly start at level 3." And our union rep had said to her, "Well, you quit and left, which you lost your seniority and you may have to start at level 1 again." So after she was done saying that, Stacy was kind of taken back and felt like the way that she came across was a little abrupt and rude. So I made a note of that. And because I think it's important that we make note of that, that maybe the way that we speak to people is a little bit more respectful. We don't know why people leave. We don't know why she got a job somewhere else. It may have been something important to her. We're just grateful she's back. And but she had made mention of that. She thought that that was kind of inappropriate. So it's something that her and I talked about, and I felt really good afterwards, after we talked about how that could have been handled differently. And I love that. But she said her overall experience was great. And so I think the way that we address people with their concerns is important. So what ended up happening is Stacy went to our CBO, Chief Business Officer, and had a conversation with her, and they looked in our contract and it said she could start at step 3. So our union rep was notified, and they are going to get that resolved because she still didn't know on Friday how much she was starting at, and she had started that Monday. So they need to get that figured out. So that's another thing we discussed with our CBO is these people need to know before they get started what their rate of pay is, so that she's not questioning that. So that's also something we need to work on, and that's something we talked about. Overall, with everything that I accomplished the last 2 weeks, I have covered so much. I was grateful that I was able to know enough, that I was able to make a checkoff sheet for a classified. I haven't made a clear one for certificated. We did have a counselor hired, but her scheduling is different and it's through our county office. So I didn't feel like I needed to rush and make anything for our certificated, because she's not. She's a counselor that comes on 2 days a week. And but it did make me think that it would be important to make a packet for somebody who's in administration, because she falls under that bracket. So good things I've learned. I spent about 12 hours in the last 2 weeks on this project, and I'll have that noted in the other portion of my when I update everything. But Trina, I hope this is helpful, and I enjoy doing it this way. It's easier for me than typing. But yeah, so that is my update for week 7. Thanks, Trina.